This is what FKE was saying, that the Securities Exchange is now considered the worst performing. Not considered, that is what the data is showing, the drop being what is on the slide before you. Economic growth, because when you squeeze private sector to the corner, then there is no economic growth. And this is exactly what is happening. If you compare growth quarter to quarter, what you will find is that economic growth has flatlined. Yeah. So with the exception of the COVID recovery in 2021, when you look at quarter two, basically it has flatlined. We dig deeper in 2 slides. What really, this inflation or this cost of living, what's inside it, what is driving it? That's the way it is. Food and fuel. So the policies we pursue must address food and fuel costs. But this is the outcome of what has happened in the last 12 months. And you can see, again, this is a data and graphic from the Kenya Bureau of Statistics. Everything, with the exception of one item there, has gone up with percentages of between 7 and 60-something%. Same there with non-food items like fuel. What you will notice, in fact, this is 1 month old now. This is before the dramatic increase in fuel price this September. So those numbers can only get worse. I know we are fond of blaming international crude prices. That is not fair to anybody because it's not true. That is, and this data again, published by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, that is the way crude prices are behaving. They are on average 34% lower than they were last year. So it cannot be that they are the reason fuel prices are going up. What is to be done? We must stimulate production by reducing interest rates. We must reduce taxation on energy, on fuel, on food. Taxation to SMEs is the only way you can stimulate production. We must have a balanced budget. Some have argued not possible. It is possible. In 2003, 2004, 2005, you had a balanced budget and you were able to implement the items of Article 43, like free primary education, zero-based budgeting, and so on. I have to move faster. Finance Act 2023 should repeal it in its entirety. In any case, the broad policy point is reduced taxation. Next cluster of items, review of or audit of the elections. Now, first of all,
with regard to strengthening multi-party democracy, and particularly coalition arrangements, I'm surprised you didn't point out the fact that these coalitions, deputy whip in parliament, is not working for the coalition. I'm surprised you left that out, and I think it's important to point that particular aspect out.
Honorable Eugene.
Thank you very much. I think my colleague Honorable Omar is really trying to defend the indefensible on matters cost of living. Of course, he must justify why the dollar has misbehaved. But
maybe Eugene, you could also have a friend say, is it applicable to the Tanzanian shilling? Because there's a presentation.
I
if there are people holding dollars, yes. Are they holding the Tanzanian shillings?
Tanzania, let me respond. Tanzania imports less than we do in terms of food. In fact, Tanzania even exports to Kenya. So therefore, their demand on the dollar is not as high as our demand on the dollar, and therefore there has been a certain weakening by a shilling or so of the Kenyan shilling on the basis of the demand. Secondly, we have removed the controls that the central bank used to have. The central bank used to fix a dollar rate on a daily basis. So you go to buy in interbanks, you get a better rate. You go out in the market,